Look 1, 2, 3. 3 racket faces produce different pushes. Side spin, top spin that doesn't spin much. Top spin or no spin. Use this racket face. If it weak spins, use the second one. The third setup produces lots of spin. It's rare to use a flatter face to create the arc for pushing. Most people are stuck in the first two. Why does your push go high every time? Because when you push the ball, the problem lies in your racket angle. Most amateur players, when pushing, keep their shoulder and elbow high but the racket low. So they hit the bottom of the ball, and the ball goes half high over the net. It should actually be shoulder low, elbow low, racket high. That's why I always tell players when serving, never toss the ball too high. Don't make the arc too high. Because once it's high, your opponent can find the high point. They'll chop it, and you'll have trouble looping. Your pressure will increase, and you'll get pushed back. So when pushing, you must raise your hand slightly, and make contact at the ball's highest point. Contact the middle lower part, not the very bottom. So the first key point of pushing is to drop your shoulder and elbow. Use your forearm to adjust the height, not your elbow or shoulder. That means when you raise your hand, you don't have to lift your shoulder or elbow together. Keep your shoulder and elbow down. Even if the ball is high, I still raise my hand and cut down on it. That way it stays stable, the push arc stays low, and the speed is faster. When pushing, if you press your wrist, the ball will easily go high. Why? Because you press your wrist down. But the ball often comes out half spinning or no spin. Many balls end up half high. But if you attack, they drop into the net. So when you push, never press your wrist down. Once you press it, your racket angle flattens. You brush the bottom of the ball, and of course it goes high. Once you press the wrist, your racket face becomes flat. Look here. First, when serving a side spin top spin, I stand my racket more upright. Even if it's side spin top, watch. I can push it down. The racket can easily stand upright. Now serve a side spin backspin. I slightly adjust from upright to flat. That's just a minor angle adjustment. But if you do this with that kind of racket face, once you press the wrist, try standing it up again. You can't lift it if you've pressed your wrist. So when you see many players pushing, they do this motion. You ask them to lower the shoulder, they can't lower it. That's because they've pressed the wrist, so they can't drop it. They have to lift first to press it down again. So when pushing, on the backhand push, never press your wrist. Don't push like this. If you contact the bottom of the ball, as long as the spin isn't too strong, the ball will surely go high. Your wrist should stay relaxed and slightly hanging. And also, the wrist motion is a bit like a backhand serve. Use this racket angle to push the ball. Serve a side spin. I raise my racket upright. Release the power downward. This one is side spin. But if I press the racket down, it will definitely pop up high. Your wrist is suppressing your racket angle, which makes your racket face to flat. Lift your wrist slightly to adjust. Then both side spin backspin and side spin topspin are easy to handle. But how do we push long? How do we control it? You brush downward and extend your forearm. Apply force forward and downward. If after pushing, the ball is this far above the table, the ball won't land properly. That means you sent it too much. If you use too much arm force, it will easily go out of bounds. So when we brush the ball, the forward force of the arm, that is, the forward movement of the forearm, must work together toward the forward downward direction. Only then the ball can be kept low. If you push like this, you see, once we exert power, it easily goes out. This type of ball is an over-the-table shot. It's not a power shot. It's a skill-based stroke, so the overall power must be controlled. What does control the power mean? The length of the ball and the quality of the ball are achieved through brushing. Brush more, push less. When you first contact the ball, you should feel that you brush it first. After fully brushing it, then use your forearm to send it forward. If you just push straight away after contact, you'll find you haven't even brushed it yet, and it flies off the table. Watch closely. Serve a side spin. It feels like this. You first get the brushing feeling. Grip the ball first. Then press the arc of the ball down. Control the brushing and rotation. Watch again. See, I didn't move. Actually, it's like this. But if I want to push long, based on that motion, brush it first, then send it forward. The ball becomes both long and spinny. First brush the ball. After brushing, send the forearm forward. Both forces work together. Arm must stay controlled. When I grip the ball like this, my forearm naturally sends it forward and downward. Then both forehand and backhand can push long. If you just push forward right after the contact, you won't feel the brushing at all. Then you'll definitely have trouble holding the ball. And the more nervous you get, the stiffer you become and the harder it is to control. But once you develop a brushing habit, you won't be as tense in matches. Only when it becomes second nature in training will those actions naturally show up in competition. Then you can control it. Otherwise, you can't harness your technique and ability. Let's take another look at the demo movement. Incorrect demonstration. If you brush the bottom of the ball, and it doesn't have strong spin, it will inevitably fly high. Look 1, 2, 3. 3 racket faces produce different pushes. Side spin, top spin that doesn't spin much. Top spin or no spin. Use this racket face. If it weak spins, use the second one. The third setup produces lots of spin. It's rare to use a flatter face to create the arc for pushing. Most people are stuck in the first two. If you can produce that kind of quality, it's hard to attack. It's both high and spinny. In some matches that's very practical. Pushing doesn't make many errors, but loops might not. That's the detail. Feel the brushing. Then send the forearm forward. Don't underestimate amateurs who only push the ball. They have many pushing methods. Different contact points, different racket angles and rhythms. See the difference? There are many varieties. They adjust distance and rhythm, high points and low points. And each has its own pushing style.